Welcome back to another episode of 5 Minute DD. Today we're talking about ZIM Integrated Shipping Services. For those new to the channel, this is where I do some research, I do a deep dive onto some stocks, and then I try and give you, within a span of about 5 minutes, all the key points that I would want to know before investing. There's a lot going on with ZIM. It is relatively hyped up. The dividend is insane, and I'm going to dive into all of that. I'll tell you why, and I'll tell you at the end if I would purchase this stock or not. None of this is financial advice. I just want to give everyone a fair shot. I suggest if you are going to purchase or not purchase the stock even, to look on your own, do some more DD, and let me know in the comments what you think. As always, please like and subscribe if you're interested in this sort of content. I do drop about 2 or 3 of these videos every week, and I would love more recommendations in the comments. So when we talk about ZIM, there is a lot going on, like I said, with this stock. It is a shipping service, which is important to note, and that kind of plays a role into what's been happening. So I'm going to go through the pros first. The pro is the current dividend yield of 111.13%. It's actually a little bit above that, as we can see on Google, 339%. So huge dividends right now, and that is due primarily to the 2022 quarters 1 through 3, where the dividends total paid out was $24.6 a share. Now, at that rate, you're looking at making $36 per share per year, and the price is only 24. So it is not feasible for that to continue. I will say that. If you're buying ZIM because you think, oh, in 10 years, I'll be a millionaire based off this dividend, it's extremely unlikely that this happens. We'll talk about ZIM more and the dividend more, their dividend history in the con section, but this is hyped up right now, and it's way overinflated, and we'll see what happens. I'm curious to see what happens in quarter 4 for them. They may pay out another $4.50 dividend, which would be pretty good. This, I think, quarter 2 was their main dividend, where they paid out $17, or quarter 1 they paid out $17, which is outrageous. And that's why their yield is so high. So they launched in 1945 and currently have a fleet of 100 vessels. Most of those, they said, were chartered. All this information, by the way, is pulled from ZIM Integrated Shipping's investor relations website, or that portion of their website. So if you're interested in this, I will link that below, and you guys can go check that out for yourself. They don't have, it's interesting, their earnings reports and whatnot, they're kind of hidden. So I just looked at their investor relations, and we'll see, which is a little bit sketchy. That's kind of, I'm not wild about that, but go check that out for yourself and let me know what you think. And then next, let's talk about, this is actually a really big pro in my opinion, ZEX. So they created this program in response to the growing rise in e-commerce, and it's ZIM E-Commerce Express, which moves freight from China to Los Angeles, and ZIM China Australia Express, CAX, that moves freight from China to Australia. So what this is it's kind of a solution for time-sensitive cargo, which is what they're saying, where you can fast-track a boat from China to Los Angeles with things on it. For those, this is really entertaining because everyone buys things online. I think that's pretty safe to say. Everyone buys things online, and you want it fast. So for them to have an express shipping option, this is extremely interesting to me, and I'm really curious to see where this goes. This is all they talk about with ZEX on their investor relations page. So I'm not sure if this is more of a pipe dream or if they're actually implementing it currently. I'm going to be watching this to see what happens, because this is a really good idea, and in their words, it's something that's not being done currently. You can fast track individual packages through UPS, FedEx, stuff that you buy on Amazon. But to fast track an entire boat is very interesting. When we looked at the baby formula crisis, if that's what you want to call it, where people could not buy baby formula, was out, for them to be able to fast track it from China to Los Angeles in the span of like a day is pretty phenomenal. And I bet they would be paid very well for that. Another positive to ZIM, which is a lot of this stuff I didn't think I would find. To be honest, I'm not a big fan of ZIM. I am watching it, and I may pick up a few shares, but I'm not a huge fan of this stock overall. This is not like an ARCC. This is not a solid stock. This is extremely risky, I'll say that. But they have cooperation with leading container companies, so they are a contender in the leading company for container shipping. They do a lot of retail shipping, which I think is a positive. Except when you're going into a bad market, which we may be. But this is a good note. They have good relationships with the other companies, meaning that if they have a shipment going out and they can't fill an entire vessel, they'll hand off portions of it and have another company take it and then take some of those profits. So they just work with other companies well, which I like. And then the last thing, which is important, is the increase in retail sales online over the last decade. So this is just something that I was thinking of. This is not from their investor page. The increase in online sales has been insane. Amazon's been blown up. All of these companies, even the last 20 years, are going insane with online sales. And so although maybe year over year that could drop, with like how we did with the pandemic, things boosted in the pandemic and then started really declining online sales the year after. I think like when you zoom out, you get a 10-year, 20-year, 30-year scale, we're going to be growing like crazy. So I think that's a really important thing to think about when you're thinking about shipping. And kind of the main thing with Zim, you're going to want a company that has a really positive outlook on the future. And that's one thing I think Zim has going for it if they can keep up. Now, the cons. This is the part you guys probably do not want to hear, but I'm going to jump through these quick because I'm already at 5 minutes. I always go over. The dividend began in 2021, and they paid out about $4.50 in 2021. So a pretty solid dividend, but their price was about $80 to $90, and so it's extremely, extremely beat down, So, I mean, that's extremely risky right there. It shows that this dividend is not consistent, and they have been consistent so far through this year, but that's only a year. Not even a full year, 3/4 of a year of consistency is not nearly enough unless you're looking to buy into a risky stock. I'm so curious to see what their Q4 dividend is going to be. I think it's paid out December 27th. I'm very interested in that. We'll see what happens. If they do even a larger dividend, I think the dividend is going to be really small because their price appreciation is dropping like crazy. So I think the company itself is struggling with shipping as shipping decreases, which is the next portion of the con list. Shipping is dropping as the economy worsens. And that can also be the world economy. As wars happen and new wars are projected to happen and nuclear, people are not going to be purchasing as much. It is a risky market for shipping right now, in my opinion, and for kind of all of retail. So that's one of the main problems I have with Zim. And then a really tough part, it's down 65% high to low in the last 6 months. And high to low on the year, of course, this was an insane spike. High to low on the year, it's down about 72.5%. Really beaten down. Very risky. Again, normally I do 5-minute DD on stocks I love. Zim, I'm really apprehensive about. And if I do buy some shares, it will be very few as it kind of meets this support, but we'll see what happens. The next couple of months are very interesting and will be a very big tell in the future of Zim. So that is it. That's 5-minute DD. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Are you guys buying Zim stock? I'm very interested to know who is and why. And then again, if you could like the video, that helps me out a ton. We hit over 100 views on my last video, which doesn't seem like a lot, but that was I was very happy to see that. So drop a like, drop a comment, and subscribe. And I'm going to be creating I have created it. I'm going to be expanding a Discord that's totally free for investors similar to myself on all different platforms. But I'd love to get some people in there talking about the different stocks they like. I'm not looking to make it a paid program. There's so many paid Discords out there right now. It'll make your head spin. So that will be coming soon. Stay tuned. And then I will link everything down below in the description, my socials. And again, thank you guys for watching. I hope you found some value in this.